What's good, everyone? This is Marcus Fingaz, Dafingaz, back with another review for the Sampleist. In this video, we're going to talk all about the Mobilis Ultimate from the Very Loud Indeed company. Before we get into that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, to this channel, the Sampleist here on YouTube, so that you can get notified for more great videos like the one you are about to watch. And although this library was provided by the great team over at the Very Loud Indeed company, they have not been able to review this video, and also they have not been able to provide any input, and that will not affect our decision on this video. And finally, at the time of this recording, this is a pre-release version. The Mobilis Ultimate instrument will be out on February 16th, 2024. So we are recording this video before the ultimate release of Mobilis Ultimate. So what is Mobilis Ultimate? It is the hybrid scoring instrument from the Very Loud Indeed company. They've been releasing a series of these over the last few years, and with Mobilis Ultimate, we are getting 4 modules of this hybrid scoring percussion instrument. Each module has 52 loops, 52 samples, 7 banks per module. That calculates to 364 loops and 364 hits per module. So multiply that times 4 and you're talking about almost 1,500 total loops and samples in this collection. You have dynamic response. These are recorded by world-class percussionists. They are also stackable loops, and again, you're getting 4 different modules. At the time of this recording, it has an intro price of $139. You can use it in the free version of Kontakt Player or the full version of Kontakt, as long as it is Kontakt full version 7.8 or higher, and it clocks in at a little under 5 gigabytes, actually maybe just over 4 gigabytes. I guess it's sort of the same, but each module, you have 4 different modules. Each module is just around 1 gigabyte. So you have a lot of content in a very small package that you can use, and we're going to dive into the UI right now. So as you can see with the UI here, we have module 1. We're going to dive in. All 4 modules actually look the same or very similar, with the exception being different sounds. So we have module 1 here. We have our mod wheel can alternate between loops if it's at the minimum, or single hits if it's at the maximum. So I'm going to play this C here, and that is playing according to the tempo that I have set in my DAW. I'm going to bring the mod wheel up to the max, and you'll see we'll have a single hit. And now with that single hit, I can program different hits and things with that. So very powerful with the mod wheel. You can adjust that between loops and single hits. Then we have the waveform in the middle there. So as I play a sample, you see the waveform adjusting, or you see the waveform playing in the middle there. And then we have velocity filters. By turning off the velocity filter, you will only affect the volume by how hard you play, not the dynamics. So I'm going to play soft, and I'm going to play hard. Turn it on, play soft, play hard, and you have different options with the velocity filter. Below that to the left, we're going to go with the key switches. So you have these different key switches. So from your MIDI keyboard, or if you click these red buttons here, you can adjust the different key switches, which is corresponding to the different banks. So you have 7 banks of sounds. Each bank has 52 loops in there. So let's play bank 1. I'm just going to play C2. Bank 2, we're going to hit the C sharp. You hear that's a different loop. D1, bank 3, bank 4, bank 5, bank 6, bank 7. So again, you have 364 loops per module because you have 7 banks, each bank with 52 loops and samples. So very powerful there. Then we have these different filters. We have a high pass filter, and bank 7 is triplets. I didn't mention that. Bank 7 will give you a triplet fill. So this is the bank 6 here, loop. Bank 7 triplets. So that's like a triplet feel. We'll go back to bank 1. I like that sort of 808 distorted. We're going to do a high pass filter, so the lows will be cut. And what's unique here, I don't think I've ever seen where the filters have the high pass on the left. Usually I see low pass on the left and high pass on the right. Neither here nor there. I just think I've never noticed before in any other plugins. So you can craft like a pulse thing going on there. I like that with that particular loop. Then we have EQ, so we can adjust the frequency of the EQ to cut and boost. So a little bit more granular than just the high pass, low pass filters there. Make it more resonant. So you can create sort of like a resonant filter there. Then we have a built-in reverb and delay. So I'm going to turn up the reverb. Then we have delay. And the delay itself seems like the delay is already pre-filtered, so I'm not getting much low end in the delay. Let me check the reverb again. I think the reverb is a little filtered also, so not getting a lot of low end there, which is great for a reverb and delay. So it doesn't muddy up the mix. And this is the reverb and delay blended together. So you can start to craft really some epic cinematic sounding sounds with just a plugin itself. And these are designed so that you can layer these built-in reverbs and delays with any external reverbs and delays you have, but you have all that built in also. And finally, the loops and hits are designed so that you can layer them together. So I'm going to play just a couple of loops together. So they are designed to layer together. I'll play another one. So you can start with one and then add layers as it progresses. And you can start to build a percussive bed without having those sort of phasing issues and things like that. So really, really great. And you have this across all 4 modules just to show you what the other 3 look like. And then we'll get to the different sounds from each module as we do the playthrough. So this is module 2 here. As again, you see very similar layout. And let me show you module 3. This is module 3. Anything look familiar here? Exactly the same. So you don't have to learn 4 different new plugins and things like that. They are all designed the same. And finally, module 4. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to jump to module 1 and I'm going to play through some of the sounds from each module and the different banks. I might play some of the loops and single hits. We'll see how things play out. But here we go. Let's go. So that is just a playthrough of some of the sounds from Mobilis Ultimate Modules 1, 2, 3, and 4. Two things that I noticed while doing the playthrough. The first thing is the notes on the left side of the keyboard are sort of the lower end of the audio spectrum. So if I play the C2, that's sort of more of like the kick-ish type sounds. And then up here, if I play the C6, that will be sort of the higher end. So in between, as you go up the scale, let's go from C2, C3. You hear that's more of a higher pitch tone. You're getting higher in tone. So as you go up to these different octaves from left to right, you will go up sort of that scale, sort of tone-wise. So you're getting the pitch, the low-end percussion instruments, and then the higher-end percussive instruments from left to right. The other thing that I noticed, if we jump back over to Module 1, let me play one of these sounds. Module 1 and Module 2, that's kind of hard to say twice as fast, but Module 1 and Module 2, there we go, are a bit more organic as far as the sounds that are in those loops and single hits. They're more of the organic percussion. And as I started getting into Module 3, I started hearing more of that industrial sort of sound, what I would call processed percussion. So for example, just a little bit more processing that I'm hearing as I went through Module 3 and 4. It's like a little bit more effects and things on that percussive sound. They still have that organic vibe to it, but it's processed differently. So if you want to just dive in out the box and have more of that processed percussion sound, but also have it feel a little bit organic, then I would go with Module 3 and 4 in that case. And Module 4 might be the most processed, if that's how I'm thinking about it. But that's what I was hearing as I was going through and playing through. Is that module 3 and 4 sounded a little bit more industrial and more processed that way, and module 1 and 2 were more organic in nature. So that is the playthrough of the sounds and the overview of the Mobilis Ultimate Hybrid Scoring Percussion Instrument Modules 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the Very Loud Indeed company. What we're going to do now is I'm going to jump over to a demo that I created featuring Mobilis Ultimate. Here we go. So that is the demo. Let's dive into the Mobilis Ultimate sounds that I use, starting with module 1 here. The plan was to use at least one instance of each module, and I ended up using 2 when I went back after using the first one of each one. So we're going to start with module 1. I basically have it starting out with this thing here. And then we add another element. And then we add another element. So it's basically layering as we go through, and then it takes a break during what I would call maybe the act 2-ish. And then over here around the act 3-ish, we would have it come back again. Then I have those hits coming in. So that is the first instance of module 1. Then we have module 1 again. I believe this is another bank. I'm playing, I want to say a kickish. Okay, so sort of like a maybe signature alarmy sound. Doing similar things. It's just doing hits on some of the downbeats, and then towards the end we have it coming in more frequently. Then at the very end, I found this sound, and I thought it sounded like a good button to end the piece, like a boom sound. So that is at the end, and it has a little tone there associated with it. So for module 2, I have this loop going, I would say around what I would call maybe act 2. And that just plays throughout the song. I have those 1, 2, 3, 4 loops going. Around the end here, you'll hear that 4th loop come in. So we have that going on. And then we have module 2 here also playing. So what I did was the first instance was mostly the loops, and the second instance of each module is the sort of single hits, one shot type deal. So this is the kick drum. Sort of keeping the pace, and then you see how it increases in frequency also as we go throughout the track. So there is that. Then we go to module 3. This is what's happening with module 3. It doesn't come in until the 40-second mark, and this is the loop that we have. Again, bringing that industrial vibe. And then we have the one-shots over here. Creating like a pulse, and then I have this sort of, I would consider it almost like a cymbal type thing, but it's not a cymbal, but it would take the place of a cymbal. So I use it as like a cymbal, and then at the end we have it layered with some of those other sounds. And then finally we have module 4, where it doesn't really come in until the very end here. So we have the loops here. And I have 5 loops going on at once, and you don't hear any phasing or anything going on there. So that's the great thing about having this instrument, is that you can layer them without those phasing issues, and they all layer nicely. And then we finally have module 4 with the one shots. Almost like a cymbal type thing, some type of effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play from this part through to the end, and what we'll do is I'll play solo starting out, and then we'll bring in the rest of the instruments through to the end. So there you have it, some quick final thoughts on Mobilis Ultimate. It is a great plugin. You're getting those loops, those one shots, also called single hits. You're getting all these instruments, almost 1,500 combination of the loops and sounds and things that come with it. You also have the key switches, the filters, the EQs, the velocity filters, the effects. All that is included in this plugin. So much versatility that you can use with this ultimate hybrid scoring percussion instrument. Again, it is clocking in at probably just under 5 gigabytes, between 4 or 5 gigabytes, and it's currently at an intro price of $139. When it does come out on February 16th. After that date, you can check it out. One thing, something that I would like to change, but I found myself doing while doing this video, is I kept clicking these options. It would be great if I could click these also in addition to having the key switches. What I would default to is trying to click the number here to get to bank 3 or D1 or something, and then I would remember, oh yeah, I got to go to the key switch or hit the key down there or hit the key on my keyboard. But it would be helpful if I could click here. Also, if I can click up here and I can just click single hits or loops. Of course, having the CC controls and the modulations and things like that does help, but if I could just click there, select it, and we'd be off and running, that would be great. Other than that, great instrument, great plugin. For $139 for all these sounds, I would say definitely worth the price of admissions for the intro price. So check it out. You have those effects built in. And so, yeah, that's all I have for you. Shout out to the Very Loud Indeed company for sending this over for us to review. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more great videos like this, and we will see you in the next video. All right? Peace.